Everybody, this is Frank with Frankly Horse Racing, and we're going to do a quick dive at Keenland's tomorrow Lexington Stake. I'm doing it old school style because I want to enjoy this beautiful evening out here tonight. So let's take a look and go through their field real quick and see what we've got going here. It is going to be the 9th race tomorrow, so it's about 4:16 Eastern, or excuse me, Central Time, 5:16 Eastern Time. Number one horse is Hard as Life. They're going 1.16 miles on the dirt tomorrow. Weather's a little bit sketchy. It could rain, maybe not. We'll see how that goes, but I'm not so sure, except for a few of the poly horses, how that's going to affect this race as it goes. Pace-wise, looking at the time form, U.S. paces, figures, the 8 will be the best closer with a bit of speed in this race. Hypnus, we'll get to him in a moment, and it looks like the 6, 4, and the 7 all have pretty good front end speed and very well could be just up there battling each other. So let's see. Although speed is good at Keenland, and especially if you can secure the rail, you can go quite a long way, as we saw in the Bluegrass earlier in the week. Even though the last part of the race was pretty slow, the first 2 or 3 calls were pretty darn fast, and the horse on the front end was able to go a pretty good ways. I had some treatment, so my brain's not all that good today, so if I forget the name of a horse, sorry. I think he was the number 5 horse that got beat right there at the wire. Anyway, we're going into the Lexington here. Grade 3, 1.16 mile race. The number 1 horse, Hard as Life, has been running on the turf and the poly. Been getting okay numbers. I don't think anywhere near fast enough to win this race, but you never know. A lot of times the Turfway Park horses do well coming over to the dirt here at Keeneland, so we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. In my opinion, he's not fast enough from the front end, and he doesn't have a hard kick coming from behind. So, you know, I'm more of the, you gotta beat me, or I'm going to get beat if you do win, right? I don't like him in this race. So we're going to go on to the number 2 horse. The number 2 horse is Bracket Buster. Bracket Buster has run all 4 races on the dirt. This is his first race back since October of last year. Manny Franco is jumping aboard for Oliver the trainer, and they've run together. They have a decent Manny's had a decent year already this year. This is their first time hooking up together. This horse doesn't have the speed to be on the front end, isn't a good late kick horse, has okay numbers from last year for a 2-year-old. I'm not so sure fast enough to be able to compete with the top ones in this field, so we'll have to wait and see. But if you're asking for my money, I would not use this horse for the win end anyway. Definitely for a tries and supers. He was beat by Sovereignty last year, so he ran against a decent field and Tistastic in the street since last year at Churchill Downs. But again, he needs to take a step forward, I believe, to be able to compete with the likes of the next horse. The next horse is number 3 coming from California, Bullard. Umberto Rispoli for Mike McCarthy, who has the Derby favorite at this moment, journalistic. This horse, this will be his longest race he's run. 7 furlongs is the furthest he's gone currently. He does have some pretty good numbers, however, and he's run against Barnes. He's run against Mad Cat Road, who's, you know, I think going to be a good miler, not much past that. Very good jockey-trainer combo for these two out in California. Appears to be working very good, and I think has great breeding to easily be able to get this 1/16 with gun runners. So I believe if this horse stays even the same or improves a little bit, he's got a darn good shot, because he's going to have to stalk. He can close okay. I mean, it doesn't really look like that on his numbers, but he's probably the 3rd best closer in the field. He's definitely not fast enough to be on the lead, but overall, as a horse and the numbers he's run so far, he's absolutely a use in this field, in my opinion. Let's go to number 4, which is Rolando. Rolando is being run by ridden by Johnny Velasquez. He's had decent numbers. Nobody in this field has smashing huge numbers like in some of these other prep races, or really firm numbers, even in the bluegrass. So this horse here is going to be a front end presence. He's going to press the pace unless he doesn't get out well. This will be the longest he's gone. A mile is about the furthest he's gone at Gulfstream last year against River Thames, and he didn't do too bad, actually. I'm not sure he's going to be in the field because he did run on the 7th of April at Keenland, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But I think he's got decent enough speed and decent enough numbers to be at least considered in this field. If he takes a step forward, then I think, especially with the way Keenland tends to go with towards the front a lot of times, I think he's got a good chance of hitting the board in here. I don't personally like him for the win end, but I think he can hit the board with some improvement. Let's go on to number 5, which is Native Runner, a Ken McPeak horse. He's getting Jose Ortiz, who's been on fire and ridden pretty darn well over at the fairgrounds, and really anywhere he's gone, Oaklawn and some other places where he's shipped into. Native Runner's been running at the fairgrounds. I tend to really like fairgrounds horses moving to Keeneland. However, this one here won his last 2. He's on the improve. He seems to be improving just about every race, but he just seems a step below being able to win this race to me. Anything can happen. He is a closer, so if there's a meltdown, it would give him a shot to come and clean some up. I personally don't like him for the win for tomorrow, Saturday, in the Lexington. We're going to move on to number 6. Number 6 is probably one of the best jockeys, if not the best jockey, over the last few years, Irad Ortiz. He's just one of them that you never want to lose a pick 4, pick 5, pick 6 ticket without him on there. He is riding Gosger, I think is how you pronounce it, for Brendan Walsh. My dog is sitting outside with me and just looked at me. His name is Oscar, so he thought I said Oscar, but it's Gosger. But good ears, buddy. Anyway, this horse here's only run twice. He just broke his maiden, but he broke it at a pretty snappy time, and he got a pretty good number out of it. They have a very good jockey trainer combo at 33%, and this one here is again stretching out. But his first race was 6, his next race was a mile, so he's stepping up. Breeding wise, he's out of Nyquist. I believe he can get the distance. I don't like him much further to mile 16th, but if he improves off that maiden win, he's got a pretty darn nice shot in this race, especially with Irad aboard. I tend to not like horses that just broke their maiden stepping, well, really into any upper competition, but to go into a stakes race, I personally don't like them. They got to be really special, and he very well could be. He's got a very good number. His number easily compares with Bullard's from California, so we'll see how he runs. Number 7 is Preator. That's a Chad Brown horse with Flavian Pratt, who is right now, he won the Eclipse last year. He's having a great meet so far at Keeneland in the first week, and this horse is improving. He's had 3 races, Saratoga, Aqueduct, and his last one was at Gulfstream Park at a mile, the same distance as the 6, Gosger. And actually, the 6 ran a little bit faster number for the mile. This one's run against some decent horses in the past. He actually beat Sovereignty, so he's getting a lot of talk about that. This horse, to me, is stretching it. Another into mischief, so of course a good fast horse. I think he's stretching it distance-wise. I think he's going to get a lot of money at the window because of Brown and Pratt, and I definitely think that, he's a player in this race. There's no way that you can throw him out. He's another front-end horse, so he's going to be up there pressing, and you've got one of the world's best jockeys on him, so there's no way to toss him out. The only negative, I would say, is maybe distance, but really he's losing Lasix, and we never know as the public how bad they bleed when they go on to Lasix. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out for him, but he's definitely one that you must use. Moving into number 8, Hypnus. Hypnus won his first race at the fairgrounds, had a lot of talk about him. I thought the race might have been overinflated. He's a McPeak horse. He had Brian Hernandez Jr. on it, who's not riding him this time because he'll be at Oaklawn riding in the Apple Blossom. on Torpedo Anna. His first race, he came from way behind and really just swooped up the field and won easily. Then he moved into Arkansas, and they put him in with the big boys that they had in Arkansas, and he lost a coal battle in Matacat Road in the Rebel Stakes. And honestly, he got stuck coming up the rail, and most everybody that's seen those races saw it. It looked like, hey, he's going to move forward off this. And then they came and ran in the Louisiana Derby, and he was nowhere. He really didn't run much at all. And I've rewatched that race a few times. I was trying to give him more of an excuse. He just didn't run. So clearly he was in over his head. These horses, this field is a lower level of competition, number-wise, than who he was running against in those other races. So in the Louisiana Derby, Tistastic came basically from the back and swallowed up the field and ran off. And he was running in Arkansas the races before, and he was kind of like this one where, you know, I bet him a couple times or I picked him on top, and he just never got moving, kind of like Sandman. And him and Sandman finally got it together, got the pace they needed, fell apart. And I think that might happen in this race with Hypnos. I think that there's enough speed early if they can get out there and knock each other around. This one's run against better horses, even getting beat. He has two numbers that compete or are better than the best horses or the fastest horses in this race. So I think he's got a great opportunity tomorrow at Keenland. I don't think I have a problem with his distance. Another into mischief. So he also is another one. This is probably about as far as he's going to want to run. Heck, he might not even want to go much more than a mile. He did win at a mile 16th. I would have loved to seen Hernandez on him, but you're getting Luis Saez, and if he's healthy, you're not losing anything at all. He's a good jockey. You might even actually put him closer to the pace. Blinkers is going on, and let's see how Ken McPeak is with blinkers on. It's not really a positive. It's not really a negative. It's not enough that would make me change a wager with him getting blinkers. So to me, it's just a matter if he improves. If he improves on where he's been, I think he's the winner of this race. Next one is number 9, Wesley Ward horse. I heard, and I don't know, since I got home, if that changed or not, that he's probably scratching for tomorrow, but we're going to act like he's not. This horse actually gets decent numbers. He again ran on the 7th as one of the earlier horses we talked about. That's pretty quick to turn a horse around. He would be probably a stalker, and he's just not fast enough to get in the race. He got beat by Getaway Car at Sunland Downs in the Sunland Derby. Looking at him, I think he's a decent horse, but I don't think he's fast enough to win this race. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty and go over where I'm sitting and who I'm recommending for this race. And of course, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. You should always be very confident in your selections. Once you start guessing and waiting for somebody else to change your mind, well, that's when a lot of times you get in trouble. If you lock onto something, hey, you're going to be wrong sometimes. It just happens. All right, so here we go. Here's my roundup here. So I think that 3 Bullard and number 8 Hypnos are the 2 most likely winners to me. That doesn't mean they will, but they're the 2 most likely. And I like the 8 the best on top if he improves. We're going to find out. It's put up or shut up time for him. So I'm going to put those 2 if I'm doing horizontals as my keys. I might even go deeper on a saver ticket if I'm having the kind of day there where I feel like we need to do that. But for the most part, if you're asking my opinion and who I'm keying, I'm going to key the 8 and hope that he's on a better path and he improves as I think he will. So again, I've got the 8 Hypnos over Bullard, and then I also like in my try, I'm going to use the 6 and the 7 for sure. They've got to be part of that because those 2 can go a long way and possibly hold on. Okay, so I'm going to go 8 over the 3, 6, 7 for my final. Take care. This is Frankly Horse Racing, and if you like what we're doing here, and again, I've said before in just a few videos I had, I'm just starting this out. Sorry if there's any sun glare or shadows, but hey, it's too beautiful to not be outside doing this. Please subscribe and let your friends know about this. We had a very good week last week in picking the 3 Derby prep races. Go ahead and go back and watch those, and then we'll see how this one shakes out. Take care. We'll talk to you soon, and I hope you hit a nice one. Bye-bye.